Good evening, Ken Long from Tortoise Capital Management with a voiceover of a trade from the trade room this morning, the chat room. This was a Ready, Fire, Aim trade in MEE, which is Massey Energy. It's been one of our favorite trading vehicles over the last month or so. We found this one when it made a washout pattern at our last ETF intraday trading seminar at International Institute for Trading Mastery, and we've been interested in it ever since because it just refuses to fail. When we first looked at it, it was around 29.5 and 30, and we've been trading it successfully all the way up. We had a position in it as a swing from last week, and we benefited from a very nice gap this morning from 39.7 to about 40.35, so about 75 cents or about 2%. Because it was the strongest stock in my interest list, and the basic materials ETF was leading the way, and SPY gapped up and was going up strong. I was prepared to trade this on the 3rd minute, so we're looking at MEE on the 1-minute charts here. And so the first entry, I bought the breakout of the second highest candle right here at the green line at 40.6 with an initial stop of 0.25. That's the red line. It went up, consolidated, and then continued to break out for a second leg after this first orderly pullback. So it made the second entry at 41.15 with another 0.25 initial stop. Went up, found some what we call a shelf or consolidation. I bought the third breakout with another bullet at 41.45 with another initial stop of 0.25. It got as high as 42.32. Started tightening up my stop, and we exit everything except a core position at 42 even. And so based on our initial risks, the trade 1, which we bought here and sold here, trade 2 bought here, sold there, trade 3 bought here and sold there at 42, ended up netting just over 11R for a pretty good morning at work. The core position which we had, which I had intended to carry overnight, actually ended up getting stopped out at 41.50 later this morning, and this is the rest of the day up until just late afternoon. You can see this was our initial. When we're now looking at the 5-minute chart, you can now see that first initial surge. And that's what an 11R intraday trade movement can look like if you're framing your trades and managing your risk. Well, later that day, after it had pulled back to just under 41, had a nice little surge and then created a nice afternoon shelf, which I like to see. And this failure to fail further is an indication of potential resumption of the upside trade for me. So at the vertical blue line, I'm stalking it because I like this initial pullback that's very orderly. And then when I finally get the breakout, I end up buying at the green line. We ended up closing with an initial stop of 0.25 with one bullet. We ended up closing this just at 42 a little bit later, but I wanted you to see the basic breakout. So what we have is in one day, MEE can be very violent and give you a big move, and then in the afternoon trade, it takes on a different characteristic altogether, and you can still aim for 2-to-1 kinds of trades. What I liked about these trades this morning was the fact that we had SPY, and this is SPY in the 5-minute, and what you can see is the market itself had gapped up just like MEE, but MEE's gap up was better, and so this dramatic buying pressure here in SPY is what helped support MEE. It was right around in this area of the yellow circle that the pullback in MEE occurred just as the market itself was cooling off. What you see here is plenty of long tails to the upside, and there's a decidedly different characteristic between the market condition here and how it feels, and then this failure to follow through any further, and what you end up having is almost 40 minutes where the market is trying to go higher but can't and keeps failing back and creating all these dojis, which sort of as a single signal to us that failure to follow through is also information. And so this pullback in the rest of the day is not unexpected, even though it doesn't even come back to close the gap and finishes up with a nice day. The trades that were working easily in this period are not going to be working as easily here. And so in that second trade in MEE, you may recall, this trade here, you can see that MEE was better than SPY, but even so, there was only about another R in here before it kind of closed the day in a balanced way. So that's what 11R intraday looks like. No overnight risk. I'm not carrying MEE overnight because I'm prepared to make my gains during the day when I have an opportunity to read price action and try to find market support. This is the case where we were in the strongest stock in the strongest sector on a day the market gapped up and moved out smartly, and so we were rewarded for being prepared and measuring our risk and taking advantage of the market tide that swept us along. Does it always work like that? No, but when it works, it certainly pays for false starts, and you'll find that on days like this, these are the easiest trades of all to make. Even though the reward is big, because it's working so easily, it feels natural and simple. So that's the ready, fire, aim technique with Massey Energy, MEE. This is Ken Long wishing you a good night and good hunting.